Here we have Socky, your typical junkie, on his way to the job centre to claim his benefits.
What was that? How? Anyone down here? Swear to God if someone jumps out it. Oh, wait man, buttons. Whoa, what the f... What's all that cheering about, man? I'm hanging. Wait, that's JFK? No, he's meant to be dead. Where the hell am I?
Well, things are looking interesting. How will this turn out for our hero junkie? Find out in the next episode. Ah yes, the beautiful stench of rotting sock yarn. And I wonder, how will Socky deal with this catastrophe? Let's take a look and see.
Haha, yes, I've just killed Lee Harvey Sockswald. Let's go see what I've changed. Never ask what your country can do for you, but always do what your country demands. What is this, man? Some sort of dictatorship? Oh, don't tell me I messed up the world.
All available units, we have a 2319. Someone speaking about our great leader requesting backup.
Why are you following me, you specky bam? How dare you speak against our great leader JFK?
Oh, a time machine. Thanks, sock Jesus. Alright, I've got to fix this, man. Guess I need to kill JFK to stop this happening. I swear to God, if this isn't sorted, when I get back, I'm going to glass somebody.
You're under arrest.
Wait, what? This wasn't supposed to happen. I better check the script to see if I missed something. No? Well, shit. Honestly, I don't know what's going on anymore.
What do I do now? How am I to fix this?
Get him!
Help! Somebody help us!
Attack!
You okay? The name is Socko.
Aye, but what was that about?
Come on, I'll explain it back at the base.
So what the hell happened?
After JFK was killed, an innocent man was arrested and died in custody. This created a division between different sock groups, fights broke out, and the stock market crashed. The government began sockregation, that caused civil war, and Canada and Mexico built walls to keep us out. And shortly after, we lost contact with the rest of the world.
That can't be right.
You're not from around here, are you?
No, but I think this is my fault.
How so? It was 60 years ago.
I kinda have a time machine, and it might have been me that shot him.
You're kidding.
No, mate. But it's sound, I'll just jump back and stop myself getting it, and we'll be good.
Uh-oh, how will Socky get out of this one? Find out next week, same sock time, same sock channel.
You need to get out of here as quick as possible, or you'll be in big trouble. Go now!
Where'd he go, man?
How? Anyone down here? I swear to God if someone jumps out it.
Take that, ya bam! Oh, man, what just happened? Oh well.
And so Socky's life returned to normal as he went on to collect his benefits, only to die 4 days later from a suspected drug overdose.
Hi everyone, my name is Isaac and welcome to my film review of one of my all-time favourite films, Edward Scissorhands, directed by Tim Burton. Edward Scissorhands is a now classic fantasy film released in 1990, and it was one of the first films that got me interested in cinema and filmmaking when I was young. If you haven't watched the film, I would suggest you stop my review now and go watch it. If you have, great, because I'm about to go into a quick rundown of the plot and it's going to include spoilers, so I thought I'd give you a quick warning. The film has been described as a modern-day Frankenstein. It is a dark, modern-day fairy tale which tells the story of Edward, a timid, artificial man who has been left incomplete and cursed with scissors for hands after his creator suddenly died before being able to finish him. After his creator died, Edward lived isolated in a dark castle on a hill until an Avon lady named Peg Boggs discovered him and decided to take him into her home. He is welcomed as one of their family, and here he begins to feel human emotions that he's never experienced when he falls in love with Peg's daughter Kim, who at first is reluctant and doesn't understand Edward, but she soon begins to sympathise with him in the kind of helplessness that he has. The Boggs family live in the suburbs of Burbank, a vibrant pastel world which is stock full of nosy neighbours that all want to examine Edward. He quickly finds himself thrust into modern suburban life and local fame as eccentric members of the community take interest in the man with scissors for hands. However, the community's love for Edward is short-lasted, as he is soon misunderstood and labelled as a monster due to his differences. He finds himself lost, helpless and isolated once again, as the new society that he's been accepted into turns out to be unwelcoming of outsiders. I think I would describe the film as a bittersweet love story. It deals with themes of isolation, true love, and I think the main message of the film is probably accepting differences. If you think of the old saying, never judge a book by its cover, I think that's kind of a perfect way to sum up this film and Edward's story, and I think that's probably why it resonated with me so much when I was young. it's like Edward, his outside appearance looks like he should be dangerous. He has scissors for hands, he's a bit like freaky looking, he looks like he could be a monster, but he wasn't like that at all. He's gentle and kind, and he was misunderstood purely because of the way he looks, and not by the way he is, which is a really kind soul. And I think that's probably what Tim Burton wanted to convey, and I think he did a great job of getting that message across. And it's an old message, but I think Edward Scissorhands is a great example of having a message and doing it really right. Edward is played by Johnny Depp in his first of many collaborations with Tim Burton. It's truly a powerhouse performance by Depp. I think this character could have been more slapstick and kind of comedy if it was in the hands of someone else, and maybe more ridiculous, but because of Depp's performance, he was able to make the character really heartbreaking and like gentle, and his performance is like really understated as well. So I think because just those little things that he does in the film, his little mannerisms and stuff, I think that's what makes the impact of the character so much, and I think he did a great job. It's truly one of my favourite performances by Johnny Depp, and it was one of his first ones that he really stepped out of his box. I think it was actually the first film where he did these kind of weird characters that he's now really known for, these kind of quirky out of the box characters, but this was the first one, and I think it was his best. And I'd also have to applaud Winona Ryder for her performance. She plays Edward's love interest Kim, and she did a great job as well. They have such good on-screen chemistry in the film, and I'm not usually a big fan of romance stories and things like that. I don't usually kind of gush over things like that, but this film and their kind of story in it, it kind of surpasses the normal romance film for me. I think their chemistry kind of takes it to new heights, and it's more enchanting and kind of almost fairy tale like. It's something you wouldn't get in a normal film. It feels like magical, and that's purely down to their performances.
I can't.
And just a little interesting bit of trivia, the famous actor Gary Oldman was actually offered the role of Edward, but he turned it down because he read the script and he said that he didn't understand the character, he didn't get what Tim Burton was trying to go for with this film. But after he went to the cinema once it was released and he watched it and he saw Johnny Depp's performance, he said that he immediately got the film, and he got what Tim Burton was going for, and he said that this is the number one regret that sticks out in his career of like films that he's turned down is Edward Scissorhands. That's his main regret, and I thought that was interesting because it's just interesting to think of maybe someone else in that character. I can't really imagine it because of Johnny Depp, and he did so well. I can't see anyone else in it. I want to take a quick moment to discuss the music in the film. The score was composed by Danny Elfman. He's collaborated with Tim Burton on a lot of films, and the score that he created for this film is just amazing. It's probably one of my favourite components of the film. It's so magical, and I don't think the film would be the same if it didn't have Danny Elfman's score as the backdrop. It just adds to the film. You can't have Edward Scissorhands without the score. It's honestly, I think, one of the best scores ever written for the screen in general. I always find myself going back to it, like particularly at Christmas time. I think the music just totally encompasses that kind of feeling. It's really amazing. It's something I think everyone should check out. Even if they're not interested in this kind of film, I think they should listen to the music. Another one of the main reasons why I love this film so much is the kind of style of it and the visuals that Tim Burton was able to create. The first time I watched it, I was just amazed by it. He kind of created this beautiful contrast between the suburbs, which are stunningly kind of vibrant and full of pastel houses, and everybody's dressed in multicolours, as opposed to where Edward came from. It's this castle, and it's dark and cold, and it's at the end of this multicoloured 50s style neighbourhood, and I've always kind of responded to how different the two of them are, but it's also really well balanced. I've always found that so cool. I could really go on and on about how much I love this film, but I don't want to bore you guys too much, so all I'll say is, if you haven't watched this film, please watch it. It's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely has made an impact on my life, and I think if you're someone that's kind of creative and loves artistic movies, this is definitely one to watch. I would say it's a perfect film. I wouldn't call many films perfect, but this one, I think, I can't really see any flaws in it. I think it's Tim Burton at his best. He's kind of hit or miss, I think a lot of people would say, especially his newer films. I don't think they are as good as his older ones, but this is Tim Burton at his peak. It's truly unique and kind of one-of-a-kind film. I think I can't get enough of it. So that's me done. Thank you for listening to me.
Good morning, and what a lovely morning it is. I do love this view, especially in a clear day like today. Unfortunately, I can't admire it for too long because I've got work to do. I'm a postwoman, so I've got quite a lot of walking to do. And the delivery I'm on today also has loads of stairs. Loads and loads of stairs. At least some of the stairs are out in the fresh air. I've been a postie for nearly 10 years now, and I'm a reserve, which means I cover different deliveries. But I like the change of scenery, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It's not every day that you see dinosaurs in the street. I think it looks amazing. It brightens up the street and always makes me smile. I need to go in and out quite a lot of buildings, but I also need to watch out for any potential dangers. I don't know what could be behind each door, and the stereotype that dogs don't like posties is very much true. Thankfully, it's not the case with all dogs.
Hello. Hiya.
This is my wee pal
Hello,
Chase,
pal.
the not so scary Staffy Cross.
He's a good dog. Yeah, I see you.
We're going up the stairs. He usually drops to the ground for a belly rub, but I think he's camera shy today. But he is a handsome boy though. I love dogs, and when they like me back, it's a bonus. I've got a few furry friends in this delivery. In fact, this is Cookie. She likes to follow me up the stairs and get a wee clap in between. And from delivery cat to delivery dog.
Come on.
This is my not so small friend Tyson.
Who's a good dog?
He's only 6 months old, but he's going to be big. He likes to make sure I do my job right. I do enjoy being a postie, and not just because I get to clap wee animals. It's a great job and nice weather, but being a postie in Scotland means that can change quickly. Which is no use when you're wearing shorts. And it also plays havoc with my previously straightened hair. At least that's me almost finished, and I like delivering to this next house, but I'll show you why on the way out. The cats and rabbit are the family pets, which make it even more special. I just love the detail, and even on a rainy day, it still looks amazing. You've probably already guessed, but it's the same guy that done the dinosaurs from earlier. Tragic O'Hara. He's a local artist and professional walrus chaser. Well, that's That's me delivered my last letter for the day, and the rain has finally stopped. I just need to go back to the delivery office and drop my stuff off. And this is my favourite walk, the walk home. Aww, and there's even a wee rainbow in the sky. Bye!
During COVID, students were attending classes online. Now that we are getting back to normal and attending classes in person, we have asked a few of the NQ film and broadcasting students and lecturers their thoughts on the situation.
I think the class have got on and performed really, really well this year. It was tough coming back after the pandemic, and obviously trying to socialise with masks on and distancing can be quite tough. So as the year's gone on and restrictions have loosened, I think the class have really bonded and done an excellent job, not just of their work, but also coming together as a little community. I hated teaching with COVID restrictions. It's not an organic process, and I think teaching is as much about community and developing personal relationships as it is about the actual content of what you're talking about. So it was quite an unpleasant experience, I think, but we got through it and now things are opened up and it seems a lot better. I think the students as a collective have done really, really well this year. Some students have excelled at the academic work, others at the practical, and it's been a really, really good mix. I'm excited about the film festival to see one student above all else conquer and they hopefully excel in their future career. We've just recently had Nathan Clark, who's won a Television Society Award, and he famously won it at the film festival as well, so that'll be good to see. With regards to the staff members, we've got a great team on the media department, and John Ray, Vincent Mulligan, John McBlain, Colleen Port have all done a fantastic job of getting the students through it and giving them the best experience possible. So it's a great team to be part of. The students have done fantastically. What's not to like about this course and this department?
I enjoyed online learning because it meant I didn't have to get the train in the morning.
No, I didn't enjoy online learning because it was just not fun.
I did prefer online learning a little bit, but it was just because I didn't need to pay to go into the train.
No, I didn't actually, because I struggle to learn like that, if you know what I mean.
I did not enjoy online learning because it was so boring and I didn't get to meet people in IRL.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I got to wake up at like 5 minutes before the lecture and then just jump on and be like, oh, my webcam's broken, because I'm just sitting there in pyjamas.
I found working with COVID restrictions quite difficult with the social distancing in classes, but now that things have eased, I think it's a lot easier.
It's better than being online, but masks were a bit annoying at first, but now that we don't really have masks, it's a bit better.
Working with COVID restrictions I don't think has changed all that much, so it's not that bad.
I just feel like it didn't change, if you know what I mean.
Now that I'm back, during the COVID restrictions, I thought it was pretty bad, but now since everything's eased, I think it's much better.
Yeah, it was quite annoying because they were like group tasks, but then when you move near your group, they were like, oh, you can't do that.
After this course, I plan to go to university.
So I plan on going to South Glasgow College to do television HNC.
After the course, I'll be doing the HNC course.
I'm planning to go on to HNC. If not, I'll probably take a gap year.
My plans after this course is to go into the HNC course.
I'm going to do the HNC.
Overall, I enjoyed the course very much, and I would recommend it to anybody with an interest in film.
I did enjoy the course, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that wants to get into the film industry.
I did enjoy the course, and I'd probably recommend it to anyone who wanted to get into the film industry.
I would definitely recommend it.
I did enjoy this course, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone who wants to go into filming.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd probably recommend doing like the intro first though, because I feel like you could just get thrown into this.
My favourite class was probably the podcast creation because it's something I haven't done before.
I think my favourite class is probably media. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Probably media project.
My favourite class was probably analysing media content because there was a lot of things that was brought up that I was interested in.
Radio feature production, because I don't have a reason for that, it's just my favourite.
My favourite class in this course was probably the podcasting because I got to do what I like.
It was probably the advertising course because I think advertising's kind of cool.
My least favourite class was probably animation because I'm not good at art.
What was it? Analysing media. That was rubbish.
My least favourite class was creating media content because we've just not got as much as we wanted done.
Analysing media content because I just felt like it was boring,
My least favourite was probably animation because I just couldn't do it at all.
Probably media project because the lecturer was John.
Colleen.
John, obviously. John Ray, to be specific.
My favourite lecturer was probably either Vincent or Richard.
Richard, John Ray, John McBlain and Vincent.
My favourite lecturer is probably Richard because I knew him longer than the rest of them.
Everyone but John, probably, actually. Probably John telling me that he gets bullied by a student. That was pretty funny. Like it's just kind of funny that a big manly man John gets bullied by a small child.
In this short documentary, I will be discussing the history and future of field hockey in Scotland and the UK. I will also be interviewing various women from different levels within hockey about their experiences and opinions about hockey as a sport. The modern version of hockey started in England in the 19th century, and the first hockey club was started in 1861 in London called Blackheath Football and Hockey Club. The Scottish women's team have represented at every Commonwealth Games since 1998 Kuala Lumpur Games. What is your name and your involvement within hockey?
My name's Kirsty Fowler-Walk and I currently coach at Troon Hockey Club.
What do you think about the future of women's hockey in Scotland and the UK?
I think the future of women hockey is fantastic. From the women in 2012 with the Olympic success, taking that on to Rio, there's a really good platform for hockey in the UK, and the Scottish team at the moment are doing really well in their competitions. And when you take it down to kids playing hockey at the moment, you can see at Troon there's over 100 juniors come to hockey every week, and that's just fantastic to see.
What is one thing you dislike about women's hockey in Scotland and the UK?
I think the thing that hockey needs, women's hockey specifically, is more media coverage, because it's a fantastic sport. It's great to watch. It's as entertaining as football and rugby, you just don't see it on the TV. It's not as accessible as it could be, and if it does get the coverage it deserves, it could be absolutely fantastic. It could grow as high as the Netball Super League, and further.
Would you encourage more people to get into hockey, and what would your advice to them be?
Always. I think it's a fantastic sport. When you're coaching juniors or coaching under 16 Scotland team, which I have been involved with, it's just fantastic to see people playing the sport. It's a sport that I have a passion for, and I would always encourage people to play it. It's great for creating friendships, getting fit, and just having a really enjoyable time with people.
What is your name and your involvement within hockey?
Hi there, my name is Karina Cuthbert, also known as Kaz. My involvement in hockey is convoluted. I've been a player for a long time. I've represented the country, I've captained the country. I am now a club coach, and I'm also Vice President of Scottish Hockey, so heavily involved in hockey.
What do you think about the future of women's hockey in Scotland and the UK?
So I'm hugely excited about the future of women's hockey. In the UK, we've done really well off the back of some brilliant success at the last 2 Olympic Games. So there was a bronze. In fact, last 3 Olympic Games, we've won 2 bronze and a gold medal. So that massively lifts the profile of the sport within the UK. And Scotland, being one of the home nations, tends to definitely ride off the back of that. So hockey as a participation sport has increased, which is great. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about the trajectory of where women's hockey is going.
What is one thing you dislike about hockey in Scotland and the UK?
The one thing I dislike about hockey in Scotland and the UK is that it's not a full-time professional sport. I want to see it on the telly. I want to see people being paid to play. I want to see it up there as big as Scottish football. So that's what I dislike. That's the aspirations we have.
Would you encourage more people to get into hockey, and what would your advice to them be?
So for me personally, yes, I think hockey is a fantastic outlet. Like I said, it's a great social, it's a great way of being active. But I think those benefits massively come in all sports. So yes, hockey, because I love it and I've really taken as much out as I possibly can. But I would just encourage women in general to be involved in any sport. You'll find the same sort of positive elements. You'll find that social aspect of different people that you meet, understanding, learning off different folk, but also that active, competitive nature of sport as well, which is really good at driving you and inspiring you to keep going. So yeah, all sport's great, but hockey's my favourite.
What's your name and your involvement within hockey?
My name is Rhoda Howe. I'm president and coach at Troon Ladies Hockey Club. I'm also the district president for the West in Scotland.
What do you think about the future of women's hockey in Scotland and the UK?
Up to COVID times, I would have said we were doing okay. Since COVID has destroyed so much in the world, it's really after doing a huge amount of damage to hockey for the female side, and I'll only speak about the female side, across the whole of Great Britain. There's a lot of work to be done to improve this, to reach, but people have found other outlets, and the age gap has got so wide between a top player that was 26, 27 playing the sport, now having decided, no, I won't, I'll go. So we have a lot of work to get those back.
What is one thing you dislike about women's hockey in Scotland?
It's not a dislike, it's the dislike to the sport that the country doesn't have a positivity to our sport. We have a fantastic female sport that you can go to an Olympic standard, both as a youth, as an adult, and now even as a master player. But the problem that's still here, and I'm here over 20 years, is that state schools don't have access to facilities. They are taking away any facility that is already in place for hockey to grow across the whole of the country. And this needs to be recognised big time, that women's hockey needs on the ground grassroots support big time.
Would you encourage more people to get into hockey, and what would your advice be to them?
Absolutely, go for it. It's great fun. The friendships you can make are amazing. You don't have to be a superstar to make those friendships. You just need to have a reason to be out and about and learning a sport. But when you see a 7-year-old coming to play hockey and they'd prefer to be doing handstands, but by the time they're 22, they're fantastic little hockey players. The encouragement is just because they're with friends, and it's a very much equality place to do your own thing. You don't have to be superstar to get into the sport, and it doesn't matter what level you are. I think I was humbled about 5 years ago when I went and watched disability hockey, and I watched a girl who was blind being supported to play hockey, and she was so excited. It's humbling to believe that it's not just for one group, it's for such a huge, wide variety of people.
The Scottish women's team is ranked 7th within the Commonwealth, which has resulted in them receiving a qualification to play in the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. Well, the future of field hockey within both Scotland and the rest of the UK seems to be in great hands. I hope that we will see more Scottish women playing at the Olympic Games in GB shirts, and more girls coming through to continue on this brilliant sport.
You talking to yourself again, Laura? Yes, it's the only sensible conversations I can. Oh gosh, here's Glasgow down to London. What a damned awful journey. Dreadful. Never want to do anything like that again. If it's more than 45 minutes, I'm not getting them. Dreadful.
Do you know where anybody is?
They're on their phones.
No, but where are they?
They're on their phones.
Where are they on their phones?
They're on their phones.
Where?
They're on their phones.
Do you know where they might be?
They're on their phones. They're on their phones.
Don't be a zombie.
I've written lots of things about our gallant soldier lads which no one ever sings. Although the words are very good, the lilt they seem to miss. For Tommy likes a tricky song, the song that goes like this. Here we are, here we are, here we are again. There's hats and mags and...
How long have you been walking for, Wilfred?
No idea, Owen. Why didn't you check the clock in the world? Oh, aye, because we're in the middle of a war.
My feet are killing me, Wilfred.
Aye, so are mine. Quit your whining. We have to keep moving or they'll catch us.
Come on, please just let us stop here. We can check our supplies. I promise we'll be quick.
Alright, fine. But we'll only stop for a wee bit. Okay, you go first. What you got?
A grenade, a spare water bottle, a bayonet, a gas mask, a spade, and a compass.
Wait. Say it slow. I didn't catch all that.
A grenade, a spare water bottle, a bayonet, a gas mask, a spade, and a compass. What have you got?
I've got 2 pencils, a watch, a spade, gas mask, a grenade, tobacco, and a Bible.
I nearly lost my watch, my grenade, and my battle bowler when a shell went off near me. Right, we don't have much, but it'll do. How much water have you got in your bottle?
It's about half full. I've barely had time to drink.
Mine's about the same. We'll have to get back to the regiment, or what's left of it.
I know, but to do that we can't be complaining about our feet.
I know. Just give us 10 more minutes, Wilfred.
I mean, I could do with a small rest myself, to be honest.
I wonder how many made it out. Did you see if Walter or Edmund made it out?
Nah, I didn't. Walter got shot as soon as we headed into the second clearing. Edmund was managing his wounds, and that's the last I saw of them. I've no idea what happened after that. Then, bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, many others cursed through sludge. Till on the hot flares we turned our backs, and towards distant rest began to trudge.
Christ, I hope they're all right. We were like ghosts and ghouls in that battle. Many men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots. But they limped on, bloodshot. All was lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue. Death, even to the hoots of the gas shells, dropping softly behind us.
I heard the gunnery sergeant shouting, "Gas, gas, quick boys." After that, all goes hazy. There was an ecstasy of fumbling. We're fitting our clumsy helmets on just in time, but there's still someone yelling out, stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or line. It was George Owen. That was who I saw.
Dim through the misty panes and the thick green light, as under a green sea, I also saw him drowning. And it was only yesterday I shared a whiskey and chocolate with him. There's no way he survived. If I close my eyes, in all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning.
I could barely see a thing through my mask, and even when I could, it was a slaughterhouse. Bones, blood, and guts everywhere.
And meanwhile, they lay there for weeks sometime. Don't know, it could be a friend of yours, it could be a relative of yours, the rat scourging them. And you standing there looking at them through loopholes, standing on the fire step. And I tell you, it was just sheer punishment.
What do you miss most about back home, Owen?
I'm not sure. I've not really had too much thought about it.
Nonsense, of course. You never shut up about your home.
I miss my ma, Wilfred.
Aye, me as well, Owen. I miss your ma. And my ma.
I'm being serious, Will.
You're right. Sorry.
Here, I was thinking about my ma's cooking being bogging at times. But see the stuff they serve here? Jesus. I wouldn't feed it to my dog.
I miss the air in my town, the warmthness of home. These battlefields reek of corpses and piss.
Aye, you're not wrong there. I miss sleeping in a bed. These trenches are awful, and I've been mock it since we've got here. I miss the football and the Saturdays. Don't get me wrong, the guys over here are alright, but I just want this to be over. A nice cold pint and a hot pie, that would be the life right now.
You think it sounds patriotic and noble, but when you get here, it's anything but.
At least we're in it together, Wilfred. Would be worse if they pick and chose certain people.
It's not just that, Owen. Think of all the rich toffs down south, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey, while me and you crawl through battlefields of corpses. I hope I never have to see another war again.
I know. They promise it's for the good of the country, but when you get here and see it, I don't know. It's barbaric. It's evil.
There's nothing good for the country about this. It just seems it's mindless death. Did you see some of the age of those Jerrys we were fighting? Didn't look a day over 12.
Wait, Wilfred, did you hear that?
Nah, didn't hear anything.
There, listen.
You're hearing things, man. You've probably got shell shock. Sound like voices, but it might just be the wind.
Wilfred, it is voices. They're getting closer.
It's Jerry's. Oh, we're hiding that bush over there.
Nein, Kapitän. Muss der Wind oder ein Wetter oder so gewesen sein.
Lass uns weitermachen.
Wilfred. What? I think one of them saw me, and he didn't say anything. What if they're tricking us, and they're going to come back?
That's exactly why we need to get out of here before more scum come back. What direction were we going to set off in again? Check the map and compass as well.
We've probably got like 30 miles due south, and then a short journey east to the barracks. When do you want to leave?
What we'll do is we'll stay here and take a 5-minute rest each. One of us will keep lookout. Then we'll start heading south.
What's that noise now? Is it them coming back?
It's a plane. I can see it. It's one of those albatross planes. Don't worry, it will not see us.
This is madness, Wilfred. Why are we even here? If only I could see the politicians and monarchs' reaction to this. If only they knew the true horrors of war. If they too, in some smothering dream, could pace behind the wagon they flung George in, and see the white eyes writhing in his face, in his hanging face, like the devil sick of sin. Maybe we wouldn't be in this hellhole.
If they could hear at every joke the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues. My friend, they would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory.
The old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori.
The ancient art of karate traces back to the 14th century in Okinawa Island. In 1921, a karate instructor named Gichin Funakoshi, better known as the father of modern karate, demonstrated the art to the Crown Prince of Japan. He later became Emperor Hirohito. According to Funakoshi, the ultimate art of karate lies not in victory or defeat, but in the perfection of the character of its participants. After the Second World War, the first dojo was opened in the United States in Phoenix, Arizona. From there, it expanded to other parts of the United States, and eventually crossing the Atlantic over to Europe. Karate has a long-standing relationship with identity. This topic will be further explored through the perspective of a man who has been practicing the martial art as a child, and what inspired him to teach the art to others.
So I initially started in judo at a local club and trained there for about 3 years, from about 1979 onwards. The judo instructor left due to work commitments, and after a couple of months a karate club opened up in there. I was always keen in judo, enjoyed the martial arts, so I went along. Very first night was absolutely fantastic. It was full of energy, very dynamic, a lot of kicking, punching, striking, stretching, etc. Stuff I hadn't done before, my body wasn't used to doing. And I came home absolutely elated, buzzing, and couldn't wait to get back to the next training session, which was a couple of days later. And the rest is history. I've been with it ever since.
Jamie's love of karate, it's great. I love his love of karate. I think it makes him such a great person as well. Jamie has a very busy, stressful job, so karate takes him away from that. It gives him downtime, time to unwind, gets him out of the house when he's stuck in the office all the time. He's done a lot through karate, met lots of different people. We've met lots of different people, lots of good friends through karate. The children, Lisa and Dean, they grew up in doing karate as well, and they then moved on to do, well, my daughter, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so she's still doing that at nearly 25, so it just shows you she's going to have the same love as her dad. No, I think karate has probably shaped Jamie into the great person that he actually is.
So building the home dojo was something I'd always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to have a place that I could train in my garden. I know a few friends in the karate circles that had that. I was always very jealous of them, and I always would love to have built one in my garden. The lockdown kind of catapulted that idea. I'd stopped travelling with work. I was working from home all the time. Our club had stopped due to the COVID restrictions, so there wasn't a place to train. The bad weather in Scotland also made it very difficult to train outside consistently, and it became a part of a lockdown project to have the garden landscaped, the pad levelled, and the structure built for the dojo, which is essentially a large shed. And then I kitted it out and insulated it, put the electrics in it, fitted it out with all the equipment and everything else that's in the dojo just now. We even gave it a name. We gave it a name called Kyaku, which means full of spirit, and incidentally was my first karate club that I ever trained at, and it's been well used ever since.
Ah, the dojo. Well, this has been something that Jamie has always wanted, is to have his own dojo in the garden. It's right there. He can just get out of bed in the morning and go to it. He can just pop out the back door at lunchtime and go to it. Anytime it's there. It's what he's always wanted to have. So when Jamie wanted to build it and could build it last year during lockdown, I was delighted. I couldn't wait. He put a lot of hard work into it, and I think it's turned out brilliant. I actually use it as well. He's got it built as a sort of bit of a gym, and it encourages me to go out as well.
So the teaching wasn't something that I previously, or all the way through my karate history, wanted to do. I was always very happy teaching, training and joining in classes and learning. The teaching side wasn't something that was even a thought for me until I had kids, and my kids got to a certain age that they were starting to inquire about martial arts and what their dad was doing, and we went along to a couple of different clubs with them, and it got to a stage that I felt I wanted the kids to do the same type of karate that I was doing, which is why we started the Musashi Karate Club in the first place, was for a group of friends to train together and also to have our children doing the same type of martial arts that we were doing, and it all kind of started from there. So karate has always been part of my life from a very early age, or martial arts in general, from the late 70s right way through the 80s, through my teens, into my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now into my 50s. It's been with me through leaving home, through leaving school, through starting work, through marriage, children, starting my own club, and various different good times and bad times throughout my life. The one thing that's remained constant has always been my karate training, that study and that search for more knowledge, for fitness goals, and also for passing on some of that through the club to other students and helping them. For me, karate has changed my life in that it's always been in my life. It's been a constant that has kept me stress-free, sane, and challenged. Karate is my life.
the new, out of the old, in with 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 the new.